Welcome to my channel. My name is Wesley Adi. I make faith-based videos. If it's your first time on my channel, why don't you hit subscribe and keep up with my contents. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about prayer. I wonder if you've ever been in a conversation with someone and it was just a one-way dialogue, right? Like they just kept saying everything they wanted, everything they needed, their interests, and every time you wanted to say something, they didn't let you say something, or they spoke over you, and it was just a one-way dialogue. And every time you just had something to say, and no, you got caught up. What if I told you that's what our prayer lives look like a lot of the time? I mean, we know prayer is conversation with God. Prayer is literally talking to God. However, when we talk to God, are we listening to what God has to say, or do we believe God has anything to say? And I'll tell you, I'm a victim of this as well. I used to always just go to God, and say, just put out my requests, put out my needs, put out everything I gotta say, just release everything. And I don't listen for what he has to say. And I believe a lot of people make that mistakes in their prayer lives. They give him their needs, their wants, their requests. Take care of my mom, take care of my dad, take care of my friends, take care of the people in my church. Okay, help me in my exam, and help me in my job, help me love people. And we just don't even take a second to just listen for what he has to say. It changed for me when I realized that what he has to say is much more important than what I have to say. I mean, he wants to give me directions. He wants to show me how to go about my day. But all I'm concerned about is, my to-do list. I just want to cross out everything in my to-do list. And I don't believe it's in our nature to stop, to just stop and just listen. Because he's not physical, he's not right there. So we fall into that trap that since it's not right there, let me just put out everything I can. Just lay it all out on the table, walk up and go about my day. But I realized, man, God, there's a relationship here. Now, I'm not talking about intercessory prayer, because that's different. You're interceding for someone, or you're interceding for a situation. That's different. I'm talking about that one-on-one personal relationship time with God. And I realized that I had been lacking in my listening. So when I started doing it, it was awkward. It will be awkward because you're changing this habit of just always going on, pouring it all out, pouring out your emotions. So it was different. It was kind of awkward, just sit there and listen. And when we're not conditioned for that, we're not conditioned to just pause. And when I started doing it, sometimes I would fall asleep. I would fall asleep in my prayer time. But God let me know it was okay, just to stop, because of that busyness. We're just so used to going and going and going. When I started stopping, I would fall asleep sometimes. I would just lose my train of thought. And I realized that was an exercise that I had to learn. And while you're doing this, you can even ask me, so how am I going to change this way of prayer? How do I start to listen? Pausing, right? Pausing. And I'm not going to say pause after every request or after every, prayer point you make. Let it be fluid. But I would say insert pauses every now and again. And what you're doing when you pause in your prayer time is you're saying, God, I'm acknowledging you. If you have to say something, I'm listening. If you want to give me a direction, I'm listening. I'm realizing that there's more than one person in this conversation. It's not just me. There's someone else here. And you're acknowledging him. The Bible says, in all your ways, acknowledge him. You're praying, yes, but you also have to listen in an acknowledgement. I'll tell you, listen, this is, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I'll tell you that. Listening is not easy. So it's going to be weird. Don't beat yourself up on it when you go back tomorrow and you just blot out everything and you realize you didn't give him a second to say anything. But just try to incorporate pausing in your prayers. Try to incorporate little pauses, little 10-second pauses. Sometimes it would increase to maybe half a minute. 1 minute, 5 minutes, you're just sitting there listening, because I tell you, God has so much to say to his children. We are his children, and he's such a good God, such a good Father, that he wants to say things to us just as much as we want to say things to him. And I hope you use this little tool in your prayer life, and I hope it helps you.